Pat from SHOTTY here. We just released a bunch of songs called Kiss My Teeth Sessions 2013, but you might have noticed it's not 2013 right now, it's 20 like a lot right now. So what is Kiss My Teeth Sessions 2013? Why did we release it? Where did these songs come from? What's happening? Well, Dr. Pat, expert historian here, and my pal Pumpkin are gonna explain the history of Kiss My Teeth Sessions 2013. Let's go back in time to Superfan. Superfan came out in, I don't remember when Superfan came out, but we released our album Superfan. I recorded it in the basement and I mixed and mastered it myself, and we released it maybe 2011, I'm not sure, but we released it, and then it was time for album number 2. An album after Superfan. What a crazy thought. I was writing a whole bunch of songs for a second album, and we flew to LA. We were living in Seattle at the time. I'm in LA right now. But at the time we were in Seattle, and we flew down here on an airplane and recorded drums in Swing House Studio to, I want to say maybe 11 songs. Miles just spent all day in the studio and we tracked tons of great drums. And then we flew back home with those drum tracks and we started searching around for a producer because I recorded Superfan alone in the basement and I didn't want to do that for a second album. I wanted something that sounded really good. And besides, we had some really, really cool new songs that we were excited about. We found this guy named Johnny Sangster and recorded at his studio, Crackle and Pop, and we recorded 3 songs which were released as the 2012 EP or 2012 EP or 2012 EP. I don't know, however you want to call it. And those songs were Just Having Fun, Louder, and The Real You. And then we had all these other songs that we had recorded the drums to, and we were planning on going back to Johnny Sangster once we'd saved up enough money and finish the album. This would be songs like Big Cheesed, Some Dumb Kid, a lot of the songs that we just released. If I remember correctly, our plan was that we would all chip in 1/3 of the money, because there was 3 of us in the band at the time. But one fateful evening, we were playing a show at Chop Suey in Seattle, and I was maybe thrown to the ground and I lost a bunch of my teeth. Well, I lost like, so a bunch of my teeth were knocked out as my face hit the ground. And after all the dentist expenses to get this pretty face back, I couldn't afford my share of the album. So we had to kind of put that on hold. And another thing that was happening at the time was I was writing tons of new songs. I was writing songs every day. So we had all these drums for this second album that we recorded. But by this time, because we had delayed it so long, we had so many more songs. Maybe around 10 new songs, including one song that felt really special that was called Good Night. So at this point, looking at this album we had recorded, I realized this couldn't be our second album. We're already so far past it. We need to go back in the studio and track more drums to these other new songs. And while we're at it, might as well redo the songs we did in LA because Miles is so much better at playing them now. So somehow we met this girl named Elise, and she said that she just got this job at a recording studio called Clatter and Din in Seattle, kind of right around the Safeco field where the Mariners played. I've never been to a game there. But Elise said she could probably get us in after the studio closes because she has a key. So we could do some just cheap drum tracking sessions on the weekend or at night, and that's exactly what we did. We got all of our songs together and we drove over there one Saturday morning or Sunday, I don't exactly remember. We were planning on doing this live studio session. I had this brilliant idea that Miles could track drums, I could track guitar along with him, and we could track bass along with him, and we would have these awesome demos pretty much ready to be released. That didn't exactly work because a bunch of stuff in the studio broke. We did end up with some okay demo guitar and some excellent drum tracks. So we took all this home, these Clatter and Din drums, and I took about 10 days off work. I was working at Nintendo at the time, so I said, farewell video games, I'm gonna go home and track some guitar. And every day I took the bus from Seattle to Kirkland to my dad's basement to track all these guitars and sing. It was sounding really good. It was sounding really professional and I was really excited, and I could not wait for these songs to be released and finished. But something else was brewing beneath the surface. A disquiet, a fear. Something else, something dark was brewing beneath the surface. that would hinder the album forever. We really wanted to move to LA. Me and Miles, we were getting so sick of Seattle, which is kind of what this album is about in a way. We sound like prisoners trapped in this city that expects something of us that we don't want to be. We don't want to be these flannel wearing, jeans wearing, understated performers. We wanted to be something huge and glamorous and sparkly, and we wanted to attract teenagers across the world and across the country. Attract to our music, I mean, of course. So we wanted to move to LA, and I don't know if you guys have much experience with moving to a new city, but it's really hard and it takes a lot of time and effort, and you kind of have to bump it up on your priority list. So at a certain point, me and Miles had to decide moving to LA is priority number 1. Album is priority number 2 or 3, because we just need to get out of here. So we saved up all of our money, and we couldn't afford to mix or release this album. We were going to do that later. Let's bring it to LA and hopefully get it mixed down there and release it. And we had our new awesome single, Good Night, that was so sparkly, and we could take the city by storm. So we did it. We moved to LA in the summer of 2013. Just me and Miles, just 2 intrepid young explorers daring to discover a new frontier for their rock music. And we had our new producer, Norm, who we'd met a bit earlier. We were so excited to work with him. So as soon as we got to LA, we brought all these songs to Norm, and we talked about what are we going to do moving forward. We played him Good Night, said we just finished Good Night. This is a great single. We already released it. What can we do? And also our 2 newest songs at the time were This Is Where We Go and Big Big Deal. We showed Norm those songs, and he said, I might be putting words in his mouth. I got the sense from him that he thought those songs were a bit cheesy. We went through the album, and we decided that our money would be best spent on 2 or 3 songs. Let's just do 2 or 3 of these songs with Norm, and then we'll do the rest later. We'll see how this goes. We went back into the studio. I think we retracked drums to 2 songs that Norm picked, which were I'm Glad It's Over and So Long. We were also going to do Big Big Deal, so we tracked those drums too. Eventually we scrapped Big Big Deal, and we just released I'm Glad It's Over and So Long as a single, double LP, double-sided single. I don't know, there's no records anymore. I don't know what that was called. We did 2 music videos, and we released them on his new label, Cautionary Tale, through In Grooves and his fancy friends somewhere, the Manimal label group, wherever those mysterious people are. I think they had their hands in it somehow, and it went really well. It was really fun, and we got some good attention. And I was also starting to write this new batch of songs, which is kind of always the curse of the album, is the new songs you write. They make all of your old songs even older. So you record drums to 10 songs, then you write 10 new songs, and you want to throw out those drums that you just recorded and do these 10 new songs. So that's kind of the mindset we were in. And I started writing Little Lady Death. I wrote Love Mess, and, well, you know, the rest is history. You know those songs. At that point, we go back to Norm and say, look, we have these 5 new songs, and we have all these old songs that we still need to get mixed. And the choice was obvious. These 5 new songs were so much more powerful. So we just decided to move forward with Little Lady Death, because maybe a full album wasn't the best choice for us at the moment. To put all that money and all those resources into a full album that was not the new direction we were going. It was not in line with this new frontier we were discovering in ourselves, this new wonderful way to mix synth, electronic stuff with hard rock. I feel like with Little Lady Death, we really started finding how to express our sound in ways that we hadn't before, in ways that when we were trapped in Seattle trying to write this flannel rock, we couldn't crack that code, and we were finally starting to. So that just pushed these songs to the side even more. So after Little Lady Death, eventually I started writing a new album, which we're doing right now. And we are just finishing up the recording of. That's really exciting because in all new ways, I feel like we're discovering our sound again for the first time ever. We're figuring out how to mix this pretty stuff and this synth and this hard rock, and it's so cool, but it's making our old songs sound even older. So now where are these Kiss My Teeth songs? What's happening with them? I think what keeps happening in my head is I listen to them and they sound so good and they're not mixed. There's something about them I really love, but I hate my mix. I mix them like demos because I'm not a professional mixer. I always wanted them to be professionally mixed, preferably by Norm, our amazing producer. That is not exactly in our budget, but then something happened. I don't even know what happened. It just hit me and I realized these songs need to be out. They just need to be out. They need to be on Spotify. People need to hear them. I don't care if they sound bad. I don't care if we're going to get them remixed and they're going to sound even better someday, because they should be out there because they're part of the SHOTTY canon, the SHOTTY history, and I think they're likable and I think they're fun songs. So I decided to just tweak them a tiny bit. I didn't do much to them, but then we had our mastering guy master them. They sound broken, and from my perspective they sound broken and demo-y, but they get the point across, so we released them. Bam. That's why you can hear them. That's why they're out right now. And that is the history of Kiss My Teeth Sessions 2013. That's why it's out now. That's why you can hear it. I hope you like them.
You're such a problem. You've got too far. I'm getting too old for this game. You're such a big cheese. You stop